Hi, guys. Happy Friday. One of the 25 plus trials I went to was Betty Lauren Maltese, who was the mayor of Cicero at the time, Mike Spano Sr., his son, Mike Spano Jr. They stole $12 million from the town of Cicero. Each defendant was out on bond, so they can come and go into court. You can make small talk with them. We're going to hear more about this case as we go on. Now, the main defendant in this case was Betty Lauren Maltese, the late widow of Frank Maltese, a known Chicago outfit associate. She was the mayor of Cicero at the time and quite the character. Betty and her girlfriends showed up in court every day in Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, fur coats, totally blinged out, denying all the charges. Now here's a photo of two of the defendants in this case, Michael Spano Sr., one of the bosses of Cicero, and his son, Michael Spano Jr. They were both indicted in this scam for embezzling $12 million from the town of Cicero. Here's a photo of both of those guys leaving court one day. They were eventually found guilty, sentenced to a short stint in prison, and are free today. Now here's a photo of one of the defendants, Mike Spano. You can see he's not too pleased with the reporters, and that's how it is down there. It's like a real media circus in the lobby because they don't allow cameras in the courtrooms in Chicago. Mike was the boss of the Cicero crew at the time, and was very upset with Betty for her greed, getting him pinched on this indictment. Now, the prosecution in this case showed how Michael Spano was livid that his son got pinched because of Betty's greed and foolish spending. He went to Rocco Infelice, boss of the Chicago outfit at the time, and wanted permission to have her killed. Rocky couldn't do it because he goes way back with Betty and her late husband, Frank. But if it wasn't for Rocky, Betty would have been hit. Now, the gentleman to my right is an actual friend of mine. Top defense attorney in Chicago. We used to live in the same high-rise. We drank at the same bar. I've seen him in court many times. He represented Betty in this case. He also represented Mike, the large guy, Sarno. A fascinating trial I went to that we're going to talk about. He was a top mob attorney for the Chicago outfit. Unfortunately, he lost this case. Now, my favorite part of this trial is when the prosecution showed on the big flat screen in court all Betty Lauren Maltese's gambling receipts from Caesar's Palace and the Bellagio. It showed how long she played on the machines, how much money she won, how much money she lost. She literally spent over $300,000 gambling in Vegas. Now, my favorite part of the trial is the opening statements and the closing arguments. You could pretty much summarize the case just on that. In Betty's defense, in their closing arguments, they were like, Betty's broke, her mom's ailing, her daughter's sick. Prosecution gets up there, hey, I'm sorry to hear that. I lost my mother. I have children too. But I want to share with you. He shows the photo of Betty's house in Henderson, Nevada, in the same subdivision as Mike Tyson. Now, in the end, like all federal trials, 3 defendants were found guilty. Betty got 8 years. I think she did around 6. She got out. She got a job as a hostess at a restaurant. Then she had her yard sale. I actually went to the yard sale. Didn't see anything at all I liked. It was all women's junk. I did bum a smoke off of her, though. I bought a golf club off of her that she told me she used to hit her husband in the head with.